We've got two really important topics to go over tonight, and they are things that I talk with my clients about all the time. That's why they're on this whiteboard behind me that hasn't been erased in several years, because we talk to everybody about them. Two really important lessons, both for right now, this time in history, this time of uncertainty, but also for your entire life. One is the word telos, T-E-L-O-S. It's a Greek word. Nobody knows how to pronounce it because that part of Greek is a dead language. So we'll call it telos. And it means, what's the point? So this is a very useful word for a whole lot of ways that I can talk to a married couple and I can ask, what's the point of your marriage? And as the couple comes to think about some things, well, it's companionship or it's whatever. As they come up with what the points are to their marriage, then it's easy to say, okay, here's how we get from here to there. That now we know what's a big thing, what's a small thing, what's important, what's not important, because we know what the point of it for that couple is. So telos, what's the point? And I would ask you, for example, what's the point of your business? If you're an entrepreneur, I'm going to ask you that. What's the point of your business? What's the point of going to school? What is the point of anything you do in your life? What's the point of parenting? Ultimately, what's the point? And I would suggest it's something like not the results you get with your child over the next month, but it's who is your child going to be at 18 years old, 28 years old, 48 years old, 98 years old? What kind of a person is your child going to grow up to be? And questions like, where will they spend eternity? Where will your child be in 1,000 years? These are ways of putting that into perspective. Telos, what really is the point? And once you define that, what is the point of your life? What is the point? Once you define that, then you're free to sit down and look at what would a bigger and better future look like for me? I'm right here in my life right now. What would a bigger and better future look like? Now, that's a Dan Sullivan line. It's great. He's the best business coach that I know. Him and his strategic coach organization's outstanding. And that's a great line because you can picture that. When you can embrace then a bigger and better future that matches what you have defined as the point of your life, the telos of your life, when you can embrace that and see it, taste it, touch it, when you can see where you're going, a lot of things happen. One is it gives you energy and creativity to get from here to there, but also it lets you know, it reveals to you that there are some things that are holding you back, some things that are keeping you from moving forward moving into this future, this bigger and better future. And some of those things that might be keeping you from moving forward, they're just going to have to go overboard. You got to get rid of them. They could be bad habits. Your habits, think of it this way, the habits that you have today have brought you to the place where you are today in life, but they will only sustain you at this place. Whatever this place is, good or bad, they'll sustain you at this place, your habits. Now, you had to make new habits to get from where you used to be to where you are now, and if you want to go to a bigger and better future, you're going to have to look at what new habits do I have to bring into my life in order to do that. If you were a good high school baseball player, for example, and you wanted to become a great college player, you would have to pick up a whole new set of habits. And then if you wanted to be a great professional player, well, you'd have to develop a whole new set of habits again in order to sustain that in your life. Not only that, you have to get rid of some things in your life, some bad habits, or at least habits that are acting like weights or anchors for you. You're simply going to have to get rid of those. So some things have to go overboard, and those could be things like bitterness, anger. That if those things are holding you back, then you have to get rid of those in order to move into your bigger and better future and form some new habits. So on this picture, we will will draw that target. That is your bigger and better future, or it could be whatever your goal is. So as a parent, it could be what you want to accomplish as a parent, really what the telos of being a parent is. Okay, there's your target. Or for your marriage or whatever it might be, but you have the target there. So what's the point? There it is, there's the target. And then you'll notice the line, and we're assuming that you start on the left-hand side of the drawing. You're here now, you want to go there. What do I have to do to get from here to there? So that's sort of the thinking here. You'll notice that there are lines going off of the mark. And the lines off of the mark represent, at that moment, suddenly you had a better idea than to go from here to that target. You had a better idea. In ancient language, you have the hitting the target, right? You're going toward the target, you're hitting the target, and if you get off the line and you miss the target, that's where the church word sin comes from. It means to miss the mark and miss the target entirely. And that's where I use the idea that it was a better idea at the moment, even though it may end up not being a better idea for your life, because the arrows, you know this in your life, when you get off the path, that better idea, that arrow, that going downward or upward slope, it has a physics all of its own. It picks up speed, and it can be harder and harder to get back on course. And the getting back on course, that old word, to change your mind and get back on track, that's where church people get the word repent. It means to turn around and change your mind and get back on track. So there's the whole message of the Bible right there. God has something that he's doing. He wants to help you get from here to there, but sometimes we have a better idea, get off the path, but we can change our mind, get back on the path. There you go. You want to just sort of move forward, but really you want to work from the target backwards. You want to say, okay, the target looks like this, and I would have these habits to sustain that. So now work backwards and say, what are the new habits I need to acquire to get from here to there? So in this situation right now, you want to get through this time of uncertainty with your family, your kids that are at home. Maybe you're working from home yourself. You have a target that you want to achieve that you think would be great for your family. So now you want to work backwards and say, okay, what are the things I need to learn? What are the things I need to change? What are the things we all need to learn, that we all need to change? And work backwards. Well, we can do this one, and then that one, and this one, and that one, so on. And then get after it and start going from the left to the right, from where you are now to where you want to be. And in your life, you could do that every 90 days and assess. What we're doing right now might just be a 90-day program. So you want to go faster than that. What do you need to change today or tomorrow? What's the next most important thing for you to do? And let's get after that. So that's a summary of the arrow and the target and the word telos. Remember, ask yourself, what's the point? What's the point of parenting? What's the point of your marriage? What's the point of your job? What's the point of your life? What's the point of, ask yourself, what's the point? And then as you answer that, that gives you the big framework. Then the next thing, ask yourself, what would a bigger and better future look like? And that will give you energy and creativity to move forward in life. But once you start in life seeing your future as being smaller than your present or your past, you start dying. That's when you lose the energy, you get depressed, you lose hope, and you start dying in life. So we never want to do that. We always want to have a bigger and better future in mind. This is exactly what has been so hard for so many people during this COVID lockdown time, is that it simply has put a stop to people moving into their bigger and better future. It's a timeout. And that has been very disruptive for a lot of people. All of a sudden, they're wondering if their future is going to be bigger and better, or if their future is going to be smaller and worse. So it's been very disruptive for people. Like I've said, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You just don't know how long the tunnel is, how long it'll take you to get there. So this is a real disruptive thing. So just keep embracing that bigger and better future. And then as you head toward that in life, really be careful of those better ideas, especially the impulsive ones, because they may simply not be a better idea. The other lesson I want to give you, we'll save it for tomorrow night just for time. It's my DAD scale, the difference above dead scale. And I want very much to explain that to you because it can make a significant impact in the way that you live your life and your relationships with other people. So we'll do that tomorrow, the DAD scale. Be sure to join us tomorrow as we cover the difference above being dead scale and put it into your life, let you apply it in your life.